very first episode of Attack the Baseline, a WNBA podcast. I'm your host, John, and today I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Kristen.
Hello.
There she is. As we together get started on a WNBA hoops journey. Kristen, why don't you tell everybody about your idea, because this is the first episode. They're coming to us for the first time. This is how we set the hook. We reel them in so that they get invested with us, because this is as much a growing for us as it is hopefully for our listeners.
Sure. So John and I are married. We are basketball fans. We have half-season tickets to the Philadelphia 76ers.
We probably lost half of our audience right there,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
it's okay.
So, but it's like our fourth season having those.
Yeah, I think it's our fourth season it's not our fourth season following the team. I've been in the paint with the Sixers for quite a while, but I feel like it's the fourth season that you're really following the team. You're really invested.
Probably, yeah. And we just haven't ever really gotten into the WNBA, really, because there's no Philadelphia team. So I wouldn't know who to root for. I really don't have any knowledge of it. But this year, there's been so much more hype around the women's college championships. I was just seeing how much more viewership there was for the women's championships and for the men's.
Huge.
The men's, it was so snoozy, I would say. But the women's, it was exciting. And there's a lot more women players that are popular than, I don't know any of the men's players, truly. I couldn't name one of them. But the women, I feel like you know a bunch. So people are saying this is the time to get into the WNBA. That's what I'm seeing.
Right.
And that's what I want to do. I want to become a fan, and I want to hold myself accountable in doing that. So I feel like doing a podcast and bringing other people in, holding us accountable as a nation to start following these teams seriously.
Oh, yeah.
That's important. That's what I want to do.
Hell yeah. And the reason for the name, Attack the Baseline, it was something we were brainstorming. I've podcasted before. I hosted a podcast called Pilot's Guide. If you want to look for that, it's probably in the same podcast feed. The reason that I thought of the idea for the name was because this is representative of our baseline as WNBA fans. We know very little about the WNBA, which, kind of shame on us that the league has been around literally 3 days after I was born.
Yeah, literally.
April 22nd, 1996. That was a fact that we learned. And every week or every time that we record this podcast, we want to be attacking that baseline knowledge that we know about the league so that we're always learning, we're always growing in our knowledge of the product, and hopefully becoming really big fans of something that we know is popping off, just like Kristen said. So you're just going to come along with us on that journey as we learn about the league, learn about the teams, learn about the players, learn about the history. And that's basically what we're aiming for. We really don't have any huge idea with this. We're hoping that, we're not asking that you stay with us for hours on end. We just want to do quick nugget podcasts where we learn something new every single week. And we're really excited about how the league is getting ready to grow in this next phase.
Right. They have one planned expansion team in Sacramento.
Right. That's what I believe. Which there was a team previously in Sacramento, I believe. Unless that was a fictional team.
Fictional.
Well, I read about it when you were reading about the hit Disney 2002 movie Double Teamed.
Yes.
Last night at the Sixers game.
Yeah, I knew there was a women's basketball movie, DCOM. Yes. And hopefully another expansion team soon comes to Philadelphia.
Right.
So we want to also be ready for that to happen.
Correct. Because the moment that is a thing, we'll be there. Like,
I'll drop these fool Sixers as soon as I can.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
We'll see.
But like, it's so enticing to me to be on the ground floor of something.
Yeah.
Like, expansion is something that I've wanted for the last probably 4 or 5 years. So even though I say I don't follow the WNBA, and this is my start of following it, I've been paying attention to these expansion discussions, and there's only 12 teams in the league, and it just makes sense that there should be a Philadelphia team. Like, we're a major market.
Right.
We're a hugely populated city that loves basketball.
A top-tier sports city, Philadelphia is.
Big time. And if you don't know, Dawn Staley, the coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks, the women's team that just won the national championship, where's she from? Philadelphia. Like,
bring Dawn back.
Kristen really wanted to name this podcast something that had to do with bringing Dawn to Philly, and I was like, if it was a guarantee that Dawn Staley was going to coach the WNBA team in Philadelphia, then
she wouldn't have to be the coach. She could be like a partial owner or something.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Whatever, I don't care. Just I want her to be here.
Well, she's absolutely goated, so
yeah,
it would be very cool.
Oh, this is a fact I didn't tell you yet. There's a very cool mural of Dawn somewhere in North Philly, on like by Girard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a nice mural. So we should go there.
We should definitely go there. See, every episode we're going to be learning new things about the WNBA, and you will too, as long as you follow along for the ride. Because this is the first episode of the podcast, we're just going to start and we're going to learn 3 things this episode. That's what I want to come out of this episode with us learning. What team won the championship last year?
Don't know.
Pretty easy. What are the 12 teams that are in the league?
I know probably 3 of them.
We're going to play a game. And who are the top 5 to 10 players that are likely to go early in this year's WNBA draft, which is on Monday, April 15th.
Soon.
It is very soon. As you're probably listening to this episode, probably like Saturday evening or Sunday or even Monday morning or the day after the draft. The WNBA is starting very soon.
Yeah.
Very, very soon.
And here's some more facts if you didn't know. The season starts in May and goes only till September.
Quick league.
And it has the whole break in the middle for the Olympics. So it's only 40 games.
Yep.
So quick.
Yeah.
So short.
Which yesterday I said, oh, that's lovely, a nice short league. And Kristen's like, well, the problem is that they're playing less games than the men, and they should be playing an equitable amount of games. And I'm like, oh, that is a very good point.
Yeah, and then they have to go overseas to play, and then,
That's a problem. That's a problem. We don't like that. Yeah, we by doing this, hopefully, and raising visibility to the WNBA and creating some new fans that are going to follow the season and the seasons to come. By developing that base and increasing that base, then we can get more games, and the women can get paid better. And we
are advocates.
We are big time advocates. There are some amazing players in the WNBA. Kristen and I were so gassed by the Sabrina Ionescu versus Steph Curry 3-point contest that happened this past season at the NBA All-Star game. It was awesome.
Yeah, we were in DC for just visiting our friend, hanging out. And we sat in this bar for hours, waiting. I mean, watching the skills contest and the dunk contest and whatever. But just like waiting for this 3-point contest between Steph and Sabrina.
Oh.
So good.
And it didn't disappoint. It was so good.
If she won,
it would have been awesome.
Then this podcast would be titled something like Steph Sucks.
Sabrina did it.
Yeah.
Down with Steph.
It's fine.
We're not coming for Steph's head. This isn't about isn't about the NBA. This is about the WNBA. So we're focusing on the WNBA.
Yeah.
So let's learn a little bit. Do you have any guesses of who won?
My guess is Las Vegas, Aces. Since we were just there, there was a mural saying that they won recently. I don't know if it was this past year or not.
Yes. I think it was either Vegas or the Connecticut Sun.
Oh, that's another team.
I'm like more certain it's the Connecticut Sun, but yes, I saw that mural when we were in Vegas and I was like,
Okay, 2023
WNBA champ. We're learning.
Champion.
This is live fact check, folks. We're going to learn together. And if you're screaming it in the car or while you're listening to this, then that's the purpose of the podcast. Don't get on us about our lack of ball knowledge of the WNBA because that's the purpose.
Point. That's the point.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas
Aces won against the Liberty.
Okay, New York Liberty.
Yes, New York Liberty. That's another team I know.
Got it.
Yeah, if you know stuff that we don't know, awesome, first of all, and let us know.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
We're missing stuff.
And you can let us know, I'm saying this now as we're recording this first episode, we're going to have an email that I'm going to add in now. You're going to hear my voice from the future. Hey, it's Future John. Send us an email at attackthebaseline@gmail.com. I was surprised that it was available, but maybe I shouldn't have been. And now back to the pod.
I'll check our emails.
Kristen will check our emails. I'll check our emails.
Yeah.
I'm good about checking things that I care about other than my personal email.
Okay, do you know who the MVP was?
Do I know who the MVP was?
The finals MVP.
On the Las Vegas Aces? No, I do not.
It was Asia Wilson.
See, I should have known that. I absolutely should have known that.
Yeah, well, I know her name, but I wouldn't have known.
Asia Wilson, incredibly good basketball player.
Okay, great.
Incredibly skilled. And we're going to learn more about...
That's an extra piece of knowledge for you.
Yeah, the finals MVP. Okay, let's see. Can we name the 12 teams in the WNBA blindly?
We'll go back... Oh.
We'll go back and forth.
Okay.
We'll go back and forth.
Well, the Aces, Las Vegas Aces.
Okay.
It's East-West, right? Like the same with the NBA?
Yeah. I believe it's two conferences, 6 and 6.
Okay.
That might be different. We might learn that when we look up the teams that we forgot.
Yeah, let us know.
You said Vegas Aces, Connecticut Sun.
Okay. New York Liberty.
Phoenix Mercury.
Oh. Washington Mystics.
Oh, that's good. I'm trying to think. There's not a team in Seattle. There's a team in LA.
Is that 5?
That was 5.
Okay.
The Los Angeles, question marks.
Oh, I just saw it, so I can say that one.
Okay, go ahead.
The Sparks.
LA Sparks?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is there a team there are a couple teams in Texas? Houston?
I have no idea.
All right. We're at 6. We got half.
The team that people are saying Caitlin's going to.
Oh, Indiana Fever.
Oh, Fever.
See, I knew that. That was in there. That was up in the cranium.
Is there Stars?
Dallas Stars.
Okay.
That's a hockey team.
Oh.
But it also might be the basketball team.
Well, that seems wrong.
But there is a star.
I know. That sounds like it's a name.
I know. One of our connections to the WNBA is as alum of the great University of Delaware, Elena Deladon, which I would hope that a lot of people are very familiar with. She's one of the best players to ever be in the league. Recently stepped away from the WNBA.
Oh, I didn't know.
For personal reasons. She could have signed like a single year max and just gone to whatever team, but she decided to take time off from playing basketball. Not a full retirement as far as I know, so she could still come back. I am absolutely in love with the idea of the Philly expansion team bringing her in and her being like the amazing veteran to start their first season. Like it's like a dream come true to me.
Or she
that I
could
want
be the
so
coach
bad.
if not for Dawn.
Well, I mean, I don't know what Elena's plan is.
Yeah.
But if you don't know Elena Deladon, you best be learning about Elena Deladon. Literally one of the, if not the best free throw shooter of all time.
Okay.
Like has the streak for the most consecutive free throws. I'm pretty sure. You can fact check me on that. You can send me emails. I'm pretty sure that's the case unless somebody broke it recently. I know she had it.
Well, the point is there's a lot of people in Philadelphia that are good women basketball players, so we deserve a team.
Right.
That's the point.
Right, in and around Philadelphia.
Okay.
Okay, back
so
to
I'm
the
just
teams.
gonna look up the rest of them because we don't know.
I think that was 7 or 8.
Oh, Chicago Sky.
Okay, Chicago Sky.
Okay, this one is lame. The Minnesota Lynx.
Oh, Minnesota Lynx.
Okay, because what's the...
Timberwolves.
Yeah, it's like the exact same thing.
Well, it's a Lynx instead of a Timberwolf.
Yeah, but it's the same... I don't know. I kind of like it, I kind of don't. Okay, Seattle
There is a Seattle
Storm,
team. Shoot, sorry.
Atlanta Dream.
Oh, it's the Dallas Wings.
A wing. See, yeah, that's confusing because the Philadelphia lacrosse team is the Wings.
The Wings, true. Philadelphia Wings.
And that's a horse.
That's a Pegasus.
Okay, fine.
They got wings.
Okay, that's all the teams.
Okay, so then what's the breakdown? How are the teams organized?
Oh.
Let's learn about that. Because we assume that it's 2 conferences, an East and a West. I'm pretty certain that's how you would do it. Probably 6 teams against 6 teams. But are there like smaller divisions within those 2 conferences?
I don't know.
You could just look up standings from 2023.
Well, it just has this.
Okay.
Eastern, Western.
Okay, East-West. Then that'll do it.
That's
So what are our East teams and our West teams?
Atlanta, Chicago, Connecticut, Indiana, New York, and Washington. And then West is Dallas, Vegas, LA, Minnesota. Weird. Phoenix and Seattle.
I mean, Minnesota, you might as well put them in the West. They're Midwest.
Is Minnesota more West than Indiana? I guess so.
Slightly.
See, it is hard with Connecticut also having a team because that's so, like, kind of out of the blue. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously because of UConn, but...
Right.
It's hard if Philly were to get a team, then, like, what about Boston? There's already one in Connecticut. I don't know. It's, like, kind of weird.
Right. Yeah, but what's nice is knowing that the suspected expansion team is from Sacramento, that means it's most likely that they would expand on the East Coast.
Exactly.
It just makes sense. And where are you going to put it on the East Coast?
Maybe in, like, South Carolina.
Yeah, in South Carolina. Like, I know that's a lot of women go to school there to be coached by the GOAT, but, like, they can just come up 95.
Right. She could just say, no, I want to be in Philly.
I'm going back to Philly, brothers and sisters.
Okay.
That would be amazing. But okay, so those are our 12 teams, our possible expansion team, our known expansion team, and our hopes to expand to make it 7-7. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of talk about, like, obviously the league needs to be bigger. Like 14 is a weird number.
Okay.
Like it's an odd number. 7, like it's an even number. But it's two 7 team conferences is a little weird, a little janky.
You would think it should be 8.
Correct, which is also good. Because when they expand 1 and then it's 13 and then they go 14, then they probably just do 2 more and get to 16.
Like Colorado?
Denver? The
Nuggets? Denver, yeah. Right, that's
so very, very forgettable basketball team.
Yeah, Denver. Mm-hmm. Right, that's what I was thinking of.
Right. I mean, there are plenty of good places.
Right.
Like, no, we're not devoid of options.
No.
It's just, are they able to do that? Are they able to pull it off? Where are they going to play? Where are the stadiums going to be?
Well, we have to show them that there's support.
Of course. Increase their ratings.
Yes.
Keep them up. And especially with, like, continue to watch the college game. Continue to watch the women's tournament. Continue to be engaged in the Steph and Sabrina rivalries. And if Caitlin Clark does one with Clay next season at the All-Star game. And that brings us into our final topic for this podcast. Let's talk a little bit about the recent college championship a little bit more and look forward to the draft that's coming on Monday. There is a huge crop of really talented college basketball players that are going to join some of these new teams after Monday's draft. The number 1 pick most likely going to be Caitlin Clark, who, if you're not familiar with Caitlin Clark and you're listening to this podcast, that's kind of remarkable. She's like been one
No shame. Look, no shame.
No shame.
I fell asleep during most of the game because I was very tired. So, no
true.
shame.
Very true. Very true. But Caitlin Clark was a player for the University of Iowa. She's a chucker. She just puts up shots. She'll shoot from the logo. She'll shoot from half court.
Yeah, half
She'll
court.
shoot from way deep. Very Steph Curry prototype for the WNBA. Now, I know there are plenty of other really good shooters in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is going to come into most likely Indiana, who has the first overall pick, and be their primary offensive option. And that is coming from me, who doesn't know their roster or how their team is constructed. But the way that she played at Iowa, she was running everything. She would be their primary shot maker, their primary shot creator, their assist leader.
Aaliyah Boston went there from... Oh, wait, are you talking about Iowa or Indiana?
I'm talking about Indiana.
Oh, right, she's on the team too. Aaliyah Boston,
who was also...
from last year.
Right. So she was on Dawn's team. She was on South Carolina.
I don't know.
Aaliyah Boston, who was the last number 1 overall pick.
Right, last
from the 2023 WNBA draft. She is, like you said, on Indiana. So they get the back-to-back number 1 picks.
Right.
Which is crazy.
So you would hope that they would be good.
You would hope that they would be good. But, I'm pretty certain, like, Aaliyah is, don't get me wrong, Aaliyah is a center? Power forward center. So they have the big game in Aaliyah, and they have the guard game in Caitlin. It could be a very strong duo. Me not knowing how the rest of their team is constructed. Maybe it's just 2 major players and nobody else. We're going to learn that in future episodes when we get into team analysis. But so let's go back to the draft order. So we're looking at the 2024 WNBA draft order projections. So we're going to see. Let's learn who the top 5 most likely picks are going to be. So we've already mentioned Caitlin Clark, likely to go to the Indiana Fever at 1. Then the second pick is the LA Sparks, who are likely to pick, in this mock draft that I'm looking at, Camila Cardoso, who was the best player. She was the best player on the South Carolina Gamecocks under Dawn. Just a massive presence, huge, so tall. I believe she's like 6'7", which, especially in the WNBA, is like massive size. I know, like you get 7-footers in the NBA. This is the equivalent of having like a 7-footer.
Yeah.
She was so much bigger than everybody else on the floor, and she really demanded the ball in a way that was just incredibly beneficial to South Carolina. It was so cool.
Well, mine says Cameron Brink.
Cameron Brink is also one that I've seen mocked at 2.
Okay.
But what's Cameron Brink's story? She's from Stanford.
An elite defender who continually improved her offense. Best front court prospect in this class.
Okay. Front court prospect means she's either a forward or a center. This has her listed as a center, a 6'4" center. In the mock draft that I'm looking at, Cameron Brink is supposed to go 4. So they have not only Cardoso going to the Sparks, but also Cameron Brink going to the Sparks.
Oh, because the Sparks are also picking at 4. Yeah, mine just has them flipped, and it's saying Camila Cardoso at 4. Both, yeah.
Okay.
So they'll just get both of them, I guess.
So, but either way, it's those 2 are also in the top 5.
Yeah.
Then we have Rakia Jackson.
But they're both centers.
Yeah, so that's an interesting team design. I guess you want to do like a 2 towers type offense with 2 big. 6'4" and 6'7". As long as they're mobile, they can really do whatever. Like, it's just as long as they're not like slow, then they should be able to work together.
Wait, Paige is not being in the draft?
No, I believe Paige did not declare.
I didn't know that. I thought she literally did right after the game.
No, apparently not.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, Paige Beckers, who's from UConn.
Yeah.
A very good guard. I thought she was going to be in the draft, but it looks like she's decided to stay at UConn one more year, and maybe she's angling to be the first overall pick next year.
Yeah, it makes
type
sense.
of thing. Oh, it absolutely makes sense.
I mean, if I were her, I would want to be the first.
Well, yeah, but it's always risky because she could have been top 10. But this is also the problem with the current WNBA is there's only so many teams. All these good players get drafted, but they're unable to play.
Right.
So that's an issue.
Okay.
Rakia Jackson, likely to go 3 in this mock draft to the Chicago Sky. She's a 6'2" forward from Tennessee, so good size. A talented offensive player with deep range on her jumper. She improved her three-point percentage to 34% in her 5th year as a senior. And if I'm not mistaken, I know a lot of women that come out of college are 3-year, 4-year, 5-year players, whereas in the NBA it can skew a little bit on the younger side. Mm-hmm. Like all these women are so experienced and they play like high leverage ball. So like the top of the draft generally in the WNBA is going to be like these extremely talented, experienced players that are able to like plug right in, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then we'll round out the top 5 because we don't need to go into every name. Angel Reese, another very famous player in this year's tournament. Angel Reese is a 6'3" forward out of LSU, and she was the heart of that LSU team that won last year. LSU won last year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So LSU won the tournament last year.
Yeah.
And this year they lost to Iowa. Mm-hmm. So meanwhile, like Iowa lost to LSU last year in final, and this year Iowa beat LSU in the Final Four.
Yeah.
To knock them out. So it was a little revenge game.
Right.
But Angel Reese was a great player.
Well, my number 5 says J.C. Sheldon.
Okay, and where's
Guard.
J.C. from?
Ohio State.
Interesting.
That's fun. A Buckeye. We love a Buckeye. I guess she was hurt for a while, but is a good 3-point shooter. I don't know. She's my 5th on here.
Okay. Well, and then there's a handful of other, names that we've heard of from the tournament, but several names that we don't know from because they didn't get these long runs that we're seeing, in these big nationally televised games. So yeah, I think we can start to wrap this up, up our intro episode. We hope that you, listener, were able to learn a little bit more about the WNBA and why we want to do this project. Our plan coming up is to talk about the draft after the draft goes. That's on Monday, April 15th. We're recording this on Wednesday, April 10th. So hopefully you're hearing it before the draft happens. But if not, check out the results. And then before the season starts in the middle of May, we want to do a little breakdown on each team, learn a little bit more about how each team works, what each team's roster looks like, what their kind of makeup is, and what their history is.
Yeah.
Before we get into talking about some of the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really want to learn more about the history. I think has to be interesting stories. Mm-hmm. I was learning about the league before the WNBA the other day, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Which had a Philly team.
Ugh, yeah.
Philadelphia Rage. Isn't that so sick?
That's so sick. So, that's what we'll get into.
Yeah, but again,
I don't think we're going to be like the most analytical people. No. I'm not trying to be acting like I know all these stats. Mm-hmm. A basketball plays, how many games have I been to? I don't understand a pick and roll. But we're just trying to have fun and become fans.
Yes, we're not... Right. Don't come here for the analysis. No. I know a little bit of NBA terms.
Yeah, you know them.
But I'm not going to try to be spitting too much of that here. There's plenty of NBA podcasts. This is about the WNBA.
Yes.
First and foremost.
Yes.
So hopefully you enjoyed this first episode. You can find us here in anywhere that you can get a podcast. It should be out everywhere, every platform. Send us an email at that email that you heard earlier in the podcast from Future Me. And look forward to our next episode when we drop it. And if you're really interested in the WNBA, if you have a background in it, or if you've been a longtime follower, or if you're a recent fan, or if you want to come along on this ride with us, then yeah, just reach out to us. We're happy to have people on to tell about their experiences and learn history because, as Kristen said, we just want to become fans too. Mm-hmm. So thank you for listening to the inaugural episode of Attacking the Baseline. And that's not what it's called. Attack the Baseline.
Yeah, you said attacking at the beginning.
Attack the Baseline. Not a gerund, no ing. Attack the Baseline.
I mean, it could be.
A WNBA podcast. And we will see you next time. Enjoy the hoops.